Hi, as per your request to improve this one, I've strengthened up the castle. This is Culzean Castle in Scotland, from a photograph a friend took. And the castle, the silhouette of the castle wasn't really strong enough. It was a bit too weak, so I fiddled around with this area. I put in a bit of the colour of the wall in sienna, and I've just used a bit of Paisley grey and blue mixed to strengthen up the silhouette of this castle. The photograph didn't show an awful lot of detail, so there it is, if you remember me doing this one. So that's it, put it in the mount. The atmosphere today is not very conducive to watercolour paper, I have to say. Just to make excuses, but I've tried and I've had two goes. It's very warm and very dry at the moment, and the paint is, or the water is just drying off almost as soon as I put it on. So I'll try to do something simple, but simple things are quite complicated in reality. So here's what I'm going to do. It's something like that. This is a demonstration I did some months ago of 7 islands. I'm going to do something similar to this. 7 islands, Mitcham Common, and I look at that and I really do like it. I'm going to probably turn this one into some, I don't know, some cards, greetings cards. I like it. It just works, and I don't think I can do any better than that, really. There's something nice about it. It's got a nice sky, dreamy sky, sort of an idealistic bit of painting. So there we go. Palette, lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna, and a filthy dirty palette which I will attempt to clean. I'm using Fabriano £130 paper that I get from Art Discount. It's Grantham's, buy it online, or mail order actually. I phone them up. But it comes in 100 sheet blocks, as you probably know if you've been listening to me. I got the hint for the paper, for using this paper, from Stephen Cronin and my colleagues, who's doing very well on his site. I'm sure most of you are tuning into him. Does some lovely things. Great self-taught painter. I love what he does. Great inspiration to a lot of us. But I started watercolour painting about over 40 years, 45 years ago, on and off. Got involved with the technique or the teaching of Ron Lanson, and I used the Ron Lanson hake. Ron Lanson, that's the only one you really should buy. It's not expensive, but the hairs come to the edge of the brush rather than set in as some hakes. So you can paint quite close to the hairs without the brush itself, or the wood in the brush, catching the paper. They're lovely brushes. This is a brand new one. I've had it for about 3 months, but I've decided to start breaking it in because my other one is getting a bit thin at the end, which is lovely. I still use it, but it's wearing out. It's wearing a bit thin. And for £7 or £8, it's not worth struggling with. Well, once they start losing the hairs start to stick in the paint. Well, there you go. I'll put in a horizon. I'm going to do a sort of a copy of it, or at least a version, not a version. So I'll wet the paper all over. Now this is the real struggle now, because the atmosphere being so dry, the water just sort of dries into the paper. So I want to keep that fairly wet. Now for those of you that bother to stretch paper, with this technique, using some clips around the edge, wetting the paper all over, you can reclip it when it expands, because if you gum this to a board, and wet it, it all buckles up, then it will shrink to a very tight drum-like surface. But with this, as it dries, or as the water soaks into the paper, the paper buckles, then you just stretch it and reclip it, and it stays perfectly flat. So I want to do a dreamy sky, so I'm using lemon yellow, a bit of alizarin, a bit of sienna, clean sienna. So we'll just put that in all over. And what you put in the sky, you want to put in your water as well. So we'll just have a bit of alizarin in there, bit of lemon yellow in the sky, clean lemon. Okay, put that in there as well. We have a sort of central area of light. Now I'm going to mix a bit of Payne's Grey, a bit of sienna, ultramarine, a bit of alizarin, but mostly blue and alizarin. Okay, so let's just get that across there. And then just bring that into the water. They're quite dark on the top there. And we'll just right, okay, let's some more in there. Right, put that in there, and we'll just drag that into there a little bit before it dries. Right, now I can reclip the paper, and you'll see that with all that water on it, it's gone completely flat. You'll find that the water will coagulate or collect at the bottom here, so just stroke it off, otherwise it will die back. There's the beginning of a bit of a cauliflower there. But what I'll do, I'll fix it, I'll dry it off. So if you're listening on headphones, let's take them off while I dry this now. Right, now I'm going to put in a bit of a horizon. I'll mix some greens, burnt sienna, lemon yellow and Payne's Grey. And we'll put it across here. Make it try to look as if you've got some other bits of banking in the pond. This is a large pond, small lake I reckon, all the way across, and we can mix in some other colours in there, some warm colours. I'm taking a bit of care with this. some dark Payne's grey and sienna, burnt sienna make a very nice dark, a warm dark. Oh, we can put that in here. Okay, and we can put some of this here. Mix the colours on your brush. You don't have to mix them so they blend. You want to leave various colours on your brush just to give a variety. And well, that's some grass. Now that'll do. But just it's all very wet and see, now it's leading a life of its own now. I had no intention of doing that, but I've just improvising. I get carried away with what the brush does, the textures that I'm getting for this sort of beach coming in at the side. A bit of light red, I'll warm it up a bit of light red, ultra, when I say ultra I mean ultramarine. Nice. And this will be the foreground coming across here. Oh, that's all wet. Nice and dark. Okay. Let's get our card and just etch some pebbles into that. We can do some grass. Saves painting them, and they can look quite realistic if you don't get too carried away. Right, now we'll come in from the other side now, and we'll do some similar sort of stuff here. Oops. Won't see that. Okay. Now with my rigger, I'm going to go in with these colours here, mixing a bit of sienna in with it as well, raw sienna. And we'll just warm that up a little bit. Just want to warm this up a little bit, just to bring it forward. Right. Put in some grasses. The reflections I'll do at the end. This is showing all showing wet because I'm reflecting. What's above I'm putting below, so it gives the illusion of there being something going on here. Okay, we're getting carried away, aren't we? Well, that's taking on a nice little softness, but I've got to put a lot of trees behind that. reckon we can put a bit of a bush coming up here. We'll just anchor that. Okay, that'll do. And brush. Now we're going to put in some background colours. So, some nice light bluey mauves for distance. So let's just put in this background, mission common. Just a background to what's going to go in front of it, so a lot of it won't show. Right, while we're there, we'll put in a bit of nice yellow, just to reflect a bit of the sky. So it's getting really, really dry now. Now some nice dark in there, dark sienna, Payne's grey. I need harder, drier. Right, okay. Now we'll put in the autumny watercolours over here. There's much less control over this brush compared to the round sable mixes. We've got hairs hanging off the brush though. Oops. So I'll just put a canopy around there. see, it's all just not a good day. I probably will give up today. It's just nothing's happening really. I was quite happy with all this. Let's try this. When you get desperate, see, when you get desperate, throw another colour in or change the brush. Doesn't really work. I'm going to dry this off. See if we can get something going on here. Right. Put some bit of a shadow underneath. Show some shrubbery. Right, dry that, so headphones off. Now with the rigger, I'm going to put in some trunks and things. Nice dark. Payne's grey, burnt sienna. Right, something like that. there's enough light through these trees. I'm trying to rescue it, making a painting of this, but it's been a bit of a lost cause really. Right, okay, let's put a bit more hard edge in here. So it's just a bit weak. I can feel acrylics coming on. I've had a week or two on watercolours. Some have been alright, some are not so alright. So, okay, let's dry that off. It's all just a little bit heavy. Right, hake, nice clean. And when you do that, just be very gentle with it, because you'll lift the paint from underneath, which you don't really want to do. It'll be quick here. Try to get some sort of resemblance to what's above it. Right, get some more dark in there. Right, okay. I'll just give that a bit of a dry. Now, I'll just put in, if I can find it, I'll just put my, just want to put some reflections of the trunks and things in there. trying to put in what's above. I'll put in a few fronds. Just some bits and pieces there. Right, I'm going to dry it again. And take the excess water out of the hake and break it up, break the bristles up like that, and then just dip it in the up hake, and then you can just put in a few bits of foliage stuff. Right, okay. This is the fourth one I've tried to do today. It's just too warm. So they can't all work. So I'll put in a bit of a bird. Right, let's see what it's like in a mount. Get it level, the horizon level. Well, it doesn't look too bad. Out of interest, I'll share with you a lovely artist called Jackie Gardiner, Scottish, from Arbroath. We're on Facebook together. She is a superb artist, and I took a photograph of one of her pictures. I'm sure she won't mind. Give her a little plug. Let's see if you can see that. Oops, sorry. I'll just go around here a bit. It's a coastal scene that she's done. She paints on a small scale, but I think she is a superb artist. She paints little boats, but she sort of almost abstracts it. An absolutely glorious painter. I really love this. Wish I could do it. Anyway, Jackie, if you watch this video, I've given you a bit of a plug. Right, well there we are. Let's zoom in on it and see what we've done. Let's come around with the camera so we can see. Well, this one didn't work out too bad. So about the jerkiness, it's the Lidl's tripod. Very inexpensive, very good, but being plastic, it croaks a bit. Croaks and groans. Yeah, so I'll just come out of that I will upload this one. It's just about good enough, I reckon. Anyway, if it's not, you can tell me. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.